Time to go out there and ball, man. Ain't no stopping us tonight. None, baby. It's on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Listen to that talk in that huddle. He wants them going out there with some intensity. Welcome, everyone, to Phillips Arena. We're in Atlanta, Georgia, the home of the Hawks, where we'll be broadcasting live today. The Hawks with their last game here in Atlanta before heading out on the road. Guys, coming into this game, it's been 5 consecutive losses, so confidence obviously will be a key for them tonight.
Yeah, you know, it's really tough what they're going through right now. The situation they're in, doubt starts to creep in, especially as the losses mount, and that just makes them as a team more and more vulnerable.
You're right, Clark, and you know, they seem to be in such a terrible state of mind at this point. No confidence. It feels like the players may not be trusting the coaching staff, trusting each other. It's been very
Hello YouTube, this is Sim Basketball Operator bringing NBA 2K13 My Career Commentary. And in this game, I'm actually going to talk more about my matchup, who is Josh Smith. Now, Josh Smith, as you probably know, signed with the Detroit Pistons to a pretty hefty contract. And the Pistons already have 2 very good front court players, Greg Monroe and Andre Drummond. Now, barring any trade scenarios, Josh Smith will start as small forward for a team that's kind of looking to get back on the playoff track. I mean, they got a lot of young pieces that they can move forward with, and now they feel like they have a franchise player. So, I'm going to try to get through the second season in my career as fast as I can to get to the playoffs, but I actually have to play the game since my team isn't good enough to just win without me playing any of them. So, we'll see. I'm going to try to go through it as fast as I can. But now to the topic at hand. Josh Smith, if he plays small forward, I'm not sure if he can do it. I don't think he has enough shooting ability to spread the floor. And as a general NBA fan, watching the playoffs and watching some of Josh Smith, I realized that, you know, a lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of coaches, and a lot of analysts think that Josh Smith should not be taking jump shots, and he's a natural power forward. Josh Smith used to have a teammate, or his former teammate was Al Horford, who I think is a natural power forward as well, but they played power forward and center together and they got to the playoffs. But Josh Smith is one of the better defensive players. He's a very good shot blocker. He can get steals. He's a good on-ball defender. I'm not sure if he's capable of chasing a lot of shooting small forwards around the perimeter, but in Atlanta with not many wing players, he had to guard a lot of small forwards. So defensively, I don't think that's going to be a problem. But looking at some of Josh Smith's weaknesses, especially his jump shot, I mean, do the Pistons really think that, or at least Joe Dumars think that Josh Smith can hit mid-range to three-point shots consistently? Now, I mean, if you expect Josh Smith to do that, then you got the wrong player. But Josh Smith is a power forward, and the fact is that he will not hit jump shots like that consistently. Now, Greg Monroe also needs to improve on his mid-range jump shot to provide any sort of floor spacing. And you can't count on Andre Drummond to shoot jump shots, but Josh Smith really needs to improve on that in order to be able to move forward with the franchise. So I'll continue this Josh Smith discussion after the break. We are up by 3 at half.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
It's Boxing Day, and we've got some bargains for you right here on the Halftime Report.
Now, another thing that Josh Smith is a very high-profile athlete. He can dunk, as he'll do plenty of times on me today, and he's got a lot of upper body strength and some deceptive quickness. See him going for the lob right there. But Josh Smith is a lot of athleticism, and since he's kind of in his prime of his career, and the fact that the deal is it's 4 years, do you really think that Josh Smith will be able to perform at this level as his athleticism starts to wane? And I don't really see that happening. I see him as a guy like Gerald Wallace recently, who really deteriorated as his athleticism started to fade. And Josh Smith relies on a lot on his athleticism, so he'll have to, again, take major strides with his jump shot and be able to find ways to make up on the defensive end as his athleticism wanes, because his shot blocking skills, he's not the most aware defensively. he can anchor your defense. That's a lot of his like high-flying antics where he's flying kamikaze style around the court and just swatting at things left and right. And that can get really frustrating as a coach and as a fan. But again, it helps your defense and increases the pressure. But when his athleticism wanes and starts to go down, he's not going to be able to do that anymore. So that's one thing. Another thing Josh Smith struggles with, I know I'm kind of hating on him right now, but it's his ability to stay out of foul trouble. And he'll get into foul trouble again in this game. I mean, I'm pretty good at drawing fouls in my career, but this is not out of the norm because Josh Smith still needs to work on going straight up and not committing so many fouls, because the Pistons don't really have a backup small forward, I guess you could say, to fill in a lot of minutes. I mean, I guess you could pencil in Kyle Singler there, but he's nothing really special. So Josh Smith is going to have to again play a lot of time as a small forward. And another thing on the flip side is Josh Smith struggles with his free throw shooting. And from the Los Angeles Clippers experiment, if you have two guys that just really suck at free throws, I mean, your team is not going to do as well. So in the Clippers case, it's DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin. And in the Pistons case, they have Josh Smith, who is not a good free throw shooter, and they also have Andre Drummond. Now, Andre Drummond's also a really good defender, so their defense could have a lot of potential, but still, that free throw shooting is really going to bite them, and especially if they want to make any noise in the playoffs this year or next year. So we'll see where the Pistons go with this. Josh Smith, I think, is a very good player, but I just think he's a power forward. Now, of course, they could try to dump off Greg Monroe, who is not quite a good defensive player, even though he's made major strides offensively. But since Joe Dumars said that Andre Drummond's untouchable, he's untouchable. And Andre Drummond, rightfully so, because he's such a high potential defensive player, rebounding player, and he's a tremendous athlete. So the Pistons as a whole struggle with their outside shooting. Josh Smith is not going to help that, but what he's going to bring to that team is he's going to bring some good defense. He's going to bring a lot of effort, and hopefully he can improve on his jump shot and hit shots like that. Yeah, I don't see Josh Smith doing that in the future. But anyways, so tell me what you guys think in the comments of Josh Smith being a small forward. Personally, I think that he'll lead the Pistons, or maybe not lead, but he'll help the Pistons get into the playoffs. They'll be one of those new teams. Like I think the Pistons, the Cavs, and the Wizards all have a pretty good chance of making it as young and up-and-coming teams. But I don't think that their franchise is headed in the right direction. I mean, it's not as bad as when they signed Ben Gordon and Charlie Villanueva to those ridiculous contracts. But it's up there because, again, this was a position of strength, and they decided to go after him. So anyways, I didn't talk about the game at all. We win pretty handedly. I get player of the game. Josh Smith lit me up for 30 points, mainly off dunks. And remember, I'm not that good of a defensive player, so don't take these stats to an account because this is 2K13, and who knows what will happen next year. I finished with 42 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, limited myself to 2 turnovers, which is good. Anderson helped me out a lot in this game, 17 points. Bledsoe with 16, and Gordon with 14. So yes, we get the win 121-109. This is a pretty quick commentary. Please leave your Josh Smith thoughts in the comments. And if you're a Pistons fan, good luck to you. Because I don't think that your team has that bright of a future unless they make some major move that either moves Josh Smith to the power forward or gets rid of him, I guess, and gives a more natural small forward. So yes, this is Sim Basketball Operator. More videos on the way, and I'll see you guys next time.
You guys were rolling tonight, and you really seem to be feeling it with your shot. How much of a factor did that play in the win?
Oh, it's nice to get on a little bit of a roll, and even nicer when we end up winning the game. I just kept getting open, and the guys were getting me the ball at the right time. So yeah, I guess my performance was a factor in the win, but the team as a whole made it happen as part of executing our offense the way it's supposed to be run. It definitely wasn't just me. Definitely.